The Great Depression explained like you're 5? Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that your favorite candy store suddenly has a strange new rule. Your money doesn't work the same anymore. Yesterday, 1 coin got you 2 candies. Today, that same coin gets you nothing. You shake your piggy bank. It still jingles. The money is still there. But somehow, it feels worthless like pretend coins from a board game. Now imagine that happening to every single person in your town. Parents, teachers, shop owners, even the richest people, everyone standing around with money that suddenly feels broken. Scary, right? But here's the twist. The money didn't disappear. People didn't suddenly forget how to work. Stores didn't magically run out of food. So what went wrong? It's like the whole world was playing on one giant playground, sharing snacks, trading stickers, helping each other build sandcastles. Everyone felt safe. Everyone believed tomorrow would always be bigger, better, and shinier. Until one kid whispers, "What if we run out?" That whisper spreads. Kids drop their toys. Some start hoarding their snacks. Others panic and run to grab back what they loaned out. And suddenly, the playground breaks itself, not because of monsters, not because of magic, but because of fear. That's the Great Depression in the simplest form, not just an economic disaster, but a moment when the entire world lost trust at the same time. And when trust breaks, even the strongest playground can collapse in seconds. But here's the real mystery, the secret we'll uncover today. How did one tiny spark of fear turn into the darkest economic storm in history? And how did it change the way our brains understand money, security, and hope forever? Let's dive in. Before we dive into history, let's step back for a moment and look at something simple, something every 5-year-old understands. When you feel safe, you play. When you feel scared, you freeze. This is true for kids on playgrounds, and it's true for entire nations. Now imagine the world in the 1920s. People felt unstoppable. Factories were booming. New inventions, cars, radios, refrigerators were popping up everywhere. Jobs were easy to find. Money felt safe. The future felt bright. It was like the world was finally out of school and running wild on the biggest, happiest playground ever built. People thought, what could possibly go wrong? But deep beneath the excitement, something fragile was forming, not a monster. Not some mysterious villain, but a tiny crack one built from overconfidence, borrowed money, and the belief that good times would last forever. The truth is, people weren't just buying things with money they had. They were buying everything with money they hoped they would have later. It's like a child spending all their stickers today because they think they'll win even more tomorrow. But what happens if tomorrow doesn't go the way you expect? One bad day, one whisper of doubt, one small piece of news. And suddenly that huge, joyful playground turns silent. In 1929, that silence hit like a shockwave. Stock prices that people believed would rise forever suddenly fell. People rushed to sell before they lost everything. Banks panicked. Companies panicked, ordinary families panicked. And in the blink of an eye, the unshakable confidence of millions collapsed into fear. But here's the most surprising part. The Great Depression wasn't just about money disappearing. It was about trust disappearing, trust in banks, trust in jobs, trust in the future, trust in each other. Because money at its core is really just trust wrapped in paper. And when that trust shatters, even the strongest economy feels like a 5-year-old's block tower collapsing with a single tap. In the next part of the story, we'll step onto that playground, meet the people who lived through the collapse, and reveal the psychology behind why the world fell apart so fast. And more importantly, what it taught us about fear, hope, and human nature. Imagine a little town called Sunnyvale, a happy place where everyone is smiling, the streets always smell like fresh bread, and every house has a new radio humming in the living room. People feel safe. People feel rich. People feel unstoppable. This was the world in the 1920s. Factories were popping up like playground slides. Cars rolled off assembly lines faster than kids running to recess. Money was flowing, jobs were everywhere, and people began believing something dangerous. If today is good, tomorrow will be even better. And so they started acting like excited children who just discovered candy for the first time. They bought more, they borrowed more, they spent more. But here's where the story takes a subtle turn. In Sunnyvale, people didn't just buy toys with the money they had. They bought toys with money they promised to give later, money they hadn't even earned yet. Because everyone believed things could only go up, banks encouraged it, stores encouraged it, even the government encouraged it. Why? Because growth feels good. Confidence feels good. And when everyone is smiling, nobody notices the small cracks forming under their feet. People began investing in something called the stock market. To them, it felt like magic. Put in $10 today, get $20 next month. Why keep your money in the bank when the stock market grows forever? It didn't matter that most people didn't understand what they were buying. They just wanted in. Even people who barely had enough money for groceries were borrowing to invest. It was like watching children stack blocks higher and higher, not because they needed to, but because everyone else was cheering them on. But something strange was happening beneath the cheers. Companies were being valued at far more than they actually earned. People were buying stocks at prices that made no real sense. And banks were quietly becoming worried. But no one said anything, because when life feels like a party, no one wants to be the one to turn off the music. So the tower of blocks, shaky as it was, kept growing taller. People kept climbing it, laughing, celebrating, believing nothing could knock it down, until one day, it did. And when it fell, it didn't just crash. It sent shockwaves through every home, every bank, every country. In part 2, we reveal the moment that tiny crack became a global collapse, and the psychology behind why people never saw it coming. So far, Sunnyvale seems like a perfect playground full of laughter, excitement, and endless possibilities. But here's the problem. When everyone believes the world will always stay perfect, even the tiniest crack can become a disaster. It all started with a whisper. "Are stocks really worth this much?" someone asked quietly in a bank. Another person heard it, told a friend, and soon the whisper spread like wildfire. Suddenly, confidence wavered. People began panicking. Imagine kids on the playground, all stacking blocks together. One child accidentally knocks a single block off the tower. It seems small until the blocks start tumbling one by one. What was once a stable, exciting structure suddenly collapses. Everyone is shocked. Everyone is afraid. This is exactly what happened in the stock market. Stock prices began falling. People rushed to sell their investments. Banks tried to hold on, but they didn't have enough money to cover everyone's withdrawals. Businesses lost money, workers lost jobs. Here's where the psychology gets interesting. It wasn't just the money that caused the panic. It was fear spreading faster than facts. Humans are wired to follow others, especially in uncertain situations. If one person panics, others assume danger is real even if nothing has truly changed. This is called herd mentality, and during the Great Depression, it turned a small problem into a worldwide catastrophe. Another factor, loss aversion. People hate losing more than they enjoy gaining. So when stock prices dropped even a little, it triggered extreme fear, causing more people to sell, making prices drop even further. It became a vicious cycle. Families who once felt secure found themselves desperate. Banks failed. Jobs vanished. Children went hungry. Entire communities trembled, not because of a single mistake, but because fear had spread like a virus. What started as excitement and confidence in Sunnyvale had now turned into panic and distrust. The playground was quiet, the laughter gone, and the question hanging in the air, could it get any worse? In part 3, we'll uncover the shocking revelation, the deep truth about human behavior that made the Great Depression so devastating, and why this lesson still matters today. By now, the playground of Sunnyvale is silent. The laughter is gone, the blocks have tumbled. Children stare at the wreckage, unsure what to do next. This is where the real lesson of the Great Depression begins, not about money, stocks, or banks, but about human nature itself. You see, the collapse didn't happen because people were lazy, foolish, or careless. It happened because of how our brains react under uncertainty and fear. Humans are wired to seek security above almost everything else. When that sense of security is threatened, our instincts take over. We hoard, we panic, we follow the crowd. During the Great Depression, these instincts were amplified on a massive scale. Fear spread faster than any government could respond. Trust vanished. Banks failed, jobs disappeared. People who had everything one day found themselves with nothing the next. And yet, the shocking truth is this: the system itself wasn't broken, it was the psychology of the people using it that caused the collapse. When hope turns into fear, even the strongest economy can crumble. When confidence evaporates, trust disappears, and humans act on panic rather than reason. Money becomes more than paper, it becomes a symbol of control, safety, and belief. Lose the belief and the whole structure collapses. But there is another side to the story. This collapse, as devastating as it was, also revealed something powerful about humanity: resilience. Communities found ways to survive. Families learned to share and support each other. Workers adapted, farmers innovated, and slowly hope returned. The world rebuilt itself not because of luck or magic, but because people recognized a fundamental truth: fear is temporary, but trust and cooperation can rebuild anything. The Great Depression was more than an economic disaster, it was a psychological event. It taught the world how fragile confidence can be, how contagious fear is, and how deeply human behavior shapes the world around us. And here's the ultimate aha moment. The next time you feel panic creeping, and whether it's about money, work, or life itself, remember Sunnyvale. Remember how a playground of excitement turned into silence because of one simple thing: fear spreading faster than reason. This is the climax of the story, the moment when money, psychology, and human instinct collided, leaving a lasting mark on history. In the next section, we'll explore what this teaches us about life today and how we can avoid letting fear control us. The Great Depression didn't just leave empty wallets and shuttered businesses. It left a lasting lesson about human nature and trust. When fear spreads, even the strongest systems can fail. People panic, hoard, and lose confidence not because they are weak, but because our brains are wired to protect ourselves from uncertainty. The collapse of Sunnyvale's playground wasn't caused by magic or a sudden disaster. It was caused by the way people reacted to fear. Yet, from this chaos came resilience. Communities learned to rely on one another. Families shared what little they had. Workers and farmers adapted, inventing new ways to survive. Slowly, hope returned. Economies recovered, but the psychological lessons remained etched into society. The Great Depression also reshaped how governments, banks, and people thought about risk, money, and security. Policies were created to prevent another collapse. Safety nets were built, and perhaps most importantly, humanity learned that trust is fragile and essential. Without trust, the playground of life can collapse in an instant. For us today, this story is more than history, it's a mirror. We see how fear can spread faster than facts, how herd mentality can drive decisions, and how our brains often prioritize survival over logic. Recognizing these patterns gives us power, the power to pause, reflect, and act wisely instead of reacting blindly. The Great Depression reminds us that, even in the darkest times, humans are capable of extraordinary recovery. Understanding the psychology behind fear and trust can help us navigate our own uncertainties, whether it's money, relationships, or personal challenges. In the end, the lesson is clear. Money comes and goes, systems rise and fall, but understanding our own minds allows us to stay grounded, resilient, and hopeful no matter how the world around us shakes. The story of the Great Depression is more than dates, numbers, or stock market charts. It's a story about people, fear, and resilience. What started as excitement and confidence in Sunnyvale turned into panic and uncertainty because of how humans react under stress. But it also revealed the incredible strength of communities, families, and individuals who adapted, survived, and rebuilt. History teaches us that fear can spread faster than reason, and trust is more fragile than we think. Yet, by understanding these patterns, we gain insight into our own behavior. We can recognize when panic takes over, pause before reacting, and rebuild confidence one thoughtful step at a time. So, the next time you feel uncertainty creeping in, whether it's about money, work, or life, remember Sunnyvale. Remember how human psychology shaped history. And remember that resilience comes from understanding your mind, not just your surroundings. If you found this journey into the mind of history fascinating, imagine what else your brain is capable of understanding. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because in our next video, We'll uncover how your mind reacts when you fall in love and why it can feel just as unpredictable as the Great Depression. History isn't just in the past, it's a lesson for every choice we make today.